Update from me. Yesterday was literally the hardest day probably of my entire career of being an Airbnb host because I woke up in the morning and my property called the Skyline had no power. The guests were messaging there. I have a power outage. I had to have my cleaner, my local contact, bring ice to the guests so their fridge stuff didn't spoil. Then as I was going to my workout, checking my messages, I found out that my cleaner for the Ridgeline Retreat property says that my guest didn't check out when they were supposed to, and it was the same day cleanup. So I had to call the guest and tell them, I'm sorry, but you need to check out. And he had no clue. He was thinking tomorrow was the checkout day. So we had to get that guest out of the way. The Airbnb cleaner gave me an extra $50 cleaning charge because they were so messy. It was a scramble to get the property ready in time. In the meantime, remember the power's still out. So it was super stressful. I had to call the electrical company, report the outage, figure out what was going on. Finally, the power went back on and we got it worked out. But at the end of the day, yesterday, I was exhausted. Emotionally, mentally, everything. But today was the best because I had my short-term rental inspection for my third property. It'll be called the Villa Palms, and the city approved it, which I'm so excited. So it was literally the hardest day and the best day all sandwiched in together. Just praying gratitude to God.